So Discipuli, this is Professor Libitika, and this is a video that's going to show you how you can use the Ugarit Translation Aligner to your benefit in your reverse translation assignment. So the Ugarit Translation Aligner is a really helpful tool when you want to see how a translation maps onto an original language or vice versa. So Ugarit is used by lots of people. In fact, Holy Cross alums have used it. Brian Clark graduated in 2015, and he's done a few alignments from, for example, Greek over to Spanish. And you'll see that what happens here in Ugarit is that when you mouse over a word in one language, it highlights where it shows up in the other language. So A in the Greek here shows up as C in the Spanish. Me shows up as no, and so on and so forth. So this is something that Brian had to do. He had to align from left to right or from right to left. And I'll show you how you can do that using Ugarit here. So let's go back to the home page. And again, this is just a tool that you can use to help answer those questions that are listed in the reverse translation assignment, especially since you need to get down into a nitty-gritty level and see which words match up, which ones don't, which ones convey the right kind of feeling but aren't necessarily faithfully translated. And maybe we might see whether that's even important or not. So if you have never used this before, you need to create a new account. I already have, so I'm just going to log in here. Use my old Holy Cross login. It's really funny. And you'll notice that I already have a few alignments here, so ignore that. You're not going to see anything here when you first log in and verify your email address. You will see, however, create new text group. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new text group, which is basically a folder for the alignments that you can create. I'll say Pliny, and I'll just add that there. And you'll notice that Pliny shows up here now under text groups. I'm going to click into Pliny. Notice that there's nothing here because there are no alignments. So I'm going to go up to Translation Alignment Editor up here. I'm going to drop it down and select New Alignment. And what that's going to do is that it's going to populate this page here. Now, we're in a Latin class and we're talking about Latin into English and English into Latin, vice versa. So I'm going to choose as one language on this left side here, a Latin text, and then on the right side here, the English text. CTS URN you can just ignore for now. That's just a canonical text service universal notation to tell where these passages come from. Don't have to worry about that for now. We might talk about it a little bit later in the course. But for now, all I need now is actually just the text, the two texts that I want to align. The one in Latin here is Pliny's Epistolae Letter 1:6, or Shelton 2. I'm going to use the LLL text here and just copy and paste it into the Latin section. And then for the translation, the one that I provided in the assignment, it came from this website here, atlas.org. So I'm just going to scroll down to 1:6, get that translation, copy it, and paste it into the English box here. And then I'm going to hit Align, and that's going to create this new page here for me. You can fill out the top information here if you really want to. It's translated by this guy named Firth. The URL comes from atlas.org, so let me just put that there. You can input titles and stuff if you want to. It's not really super necessary, but it helps me organize my information here. And you can save that to the database if you want. You'll have to click back into your assignments. So Pliny 1:6, great. Now, the important part is down here. Where we have the Latin text on the left side and the English text on the right side. I'm going to start off at the very beginning here. Ridebis, from rideo, ridere, risi, risus, to laugh. A second conjugation verb, so I have that bis ending, second person singular, future tense. Ridebis means you will laugh. And then, lo and behold, on the right side here in the English, you will laugh. Great. So what I'm going to do here to align the Latin to the English and vice versa, I'm going to click on the Latin. Ridebis is going to give me that up there. And then on the English side, I'm going to click all the words that belong to that Latin word. You will laugh. You'll notice that now I have this alignment here with the Latin in the green and the translation, you will laugh, in the blue. If I made a mistake, I can unclick it, click it back in, or choose different words. But you will laugh is the translation here. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to hit the Save button, and my alignment of this Latin into the English is going to go into this running list of alignments here. So great. Ridebis means you will laugh, or you will laugh means ridebis. Now that I mouse over it, you notice that it highlights the opposite language where it shows up. Great. Going to continue on now. Et. That means and. Awesome. I see an and here. I have an alignment. Save it. Done. However, take a look at the next part of the sentence here. Licet redeas in the Latin. Licet is an impersonal verb in the present tense. It means it is allowed or it is permitted. And it often takes a noun clause of result. So a clause that usually begins with an ut, and it takes a subjunctive verb. We're missing the ut here, but we do have the subjunctive verb rideas. Again, from rideo, ridere, meaning to laugh. In the subjunctive here, sequence of tenses. Licet as the main verb, primary sequence, happening at the same time. It is permitted that you laugh, is the super literal translation here. However, when we go over to the English, here's what we get in the translation. I give you leave to. I give you permission to. I allow you to laugh. Understood. This is not a literal translation of what's there in the Latin. We have an impersonal verb and a subjunctive verb with an understood ut in the middle. It is permitted that you laugh. I give you leave to. Some of those words, well, literally only one word shows up, really, the you there of the rideas, but that's really all there is. So I don't really see too much of a literal alignment between licet rideas and I give you leave to. So you know what? I'm going to skip it. I'm not going to make an alignment there. And then when I go through and align the rest of the text, the fact that nothing shows up when I mouse over them is a clear indicator to me that there's some sort of, not necessarily a mismatch between the Latin and the English, but the translator is doing something different with the English than is there in the Latin. And that's something that I want this reverse translation assignment to highlight, the ways in which translators, and you as a translator, as a scholar of Latin, can get to different types of translations without necessarily being super beholden to what is there in the Latin. Later on, for example, you can see that we're going to get this verb inquis, you say, in the present tense, but the translator tells us you will say for various reasons. So I'm going to align that to you say, but I'm going to leave the will out. And then it's precisely in that alignment that I see, oh, it's a difference of tense here. Present tense inquis versus future tense you will say. So that's what this assignment is geared towards. I'm trying to get you to think a little bit deeper about the ways that translation works, about the ways in which a translator can take some liberties with the Latin text in order to convey the tone or the meaning of the original author. And the Ugarit Translation Aligner is one tool that you can use in order to help answer those questions and try to gain an appreciation of the ways in which translators can play with the rules of translation and Latin grammar. When you're done with your alignment, and if you want me to see how you got to some of the answers that you got to, if you want me to see how you align the texts, something that you can do is you can go up to this button here, Export as XML, click on that. It'll save your alignment as a file, an XML file that you can send in along with your document that answers the questions that are there on the assignment prompt. So if you would like me to see your alignment and where you got this information from, feel free to use the Export as XML button and send in this XML file that'll get saved along with your assignment. I'm going to save my changes here, and that's that. If you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, well, LATN.